the internet? My name is Kevin Martin of GamingSins. I have
Miguel Knowledge, aka
Knowledge.
I don't know, like
of Gamers Little Playground.
Gamers Little Playground.
And we got our special guest. Those of you watching this on the Gamers Little Playground know his face. Yeah. We have
Javi.
I was gonna give you a grand introduction. He downplayed himself.
You already pronounced it wrong. So I wanted to make sure.
Oh, Javi.
Yeah.
Javi.
It's
I wanted to make sure it was right.
Javi is your local resident god at video games.
Yes.
He's
only within our group. Though. Yeah. Like, as soon as we leave our group.
Yeah, he beats the shit out of us, and then like other people beat the shit out of him. So I don't know what that makes.
There's always a bigger fish. Anyways, how you guys doing today?
Good. I can't wait to play Javi at Brawlhalla. We wanted to do. So we play Smash a lot, and he always beats me. And this is
we have like a brawler. That's
I wanted a brawler.
And I lost.
I can beat him like 2 out of 10 times. Because he's a cheater, but
he's a cheater. How does he cheat? What does he do?
Because he knows he knows all the moves.
Wait, okay. I was gonna say this isn't really cheating, but it's one of those things that's frowned upon, where you do the same move over and over again.
No. He's not. He's about like the purity of the game, like
the essence.
Yeah, the beauty.
The
of the
essence
game.
of learning a character and just whooping ass. Yes. I love it. That's great.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm excited to see.
Yeah. So we're gonna play Brawlhalla, which
I might have been practicing a little bit.
You might have been.
No, I wasn't.
I didn't see you on Steam at all.
No. I didn't.
Well, we'll see when it comes time.
I might have made a new profile.
But I do have experience with it.
Yeah, you do. So he's probably gonna beat me, but it's fine.
But I sucked at it.
Well, God damn it! No, I should have practiced.
Oh man, this show we're like what is it like 3 and 1?
Yeah,
like we're like at 3 losses and 1 win. Oh no, maybe 2 and 2 actually.
Does it count as a loss for you guys since I'm?
I guess because you're part of GLP, you're one of the big cogs. Yeah, it's. I guess we win no matter what.
It's always a win here.
We're actually 2 and 2. I've won both times and he's lost both times.
I have. But see, like if I had played Trent at Injustice 2,
you would have beat the shit out of him.
I would have mollywalked his
ass. You would have. But that is very true. So.
And then we played Gang Beasts, which I'd never played in my life, and I had no idea how to
lift people.
Well, no, I knew how to lift them. I just didn't know how to throw them, because you lift. And then when you just do drop, and then I don't know. The physics is a little.
Honestly,
difficult.
when I play, it's just really button mashing, but it seems like I know what I'm doing.
Yeah. See, so that's just your life motto.
I mean, for that game, that's all it is. You try to knock the other person out, and that's it. Yeah. Throw them out.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, for sure. All right, so we'll see what happens later on in this episode. But today we've got 2 topics that we want to get to today. Biggest one, Destiny 2.
Destiny 2.
Yes. Everybody's excited. I haven't played it yet. I just downloaded it last night. I let it all load because I got it online. And,
Javi beat it twice already.
Well, almost twice.
Almost twice?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, really? God damn.
Because we got it on PlayStation, and I played it on PlayStation first. But I play with my brother a lot, and so I wanted to make sure I have it on Xbox as well.
How many hours do you have on Destiny 1?
Couple thousand
hours.
For the first 3 years of the game, when it first it just last year was the 3rd year, but I played almost nonstop.
So what you're saying is that's all you've done?
Well, that's all I mean.
For the first 2 years.
Yeah, for the first 2 years.
Last year he hasn't played as much.
Yeah, I played other games more, like Overwatch. I played a lot more last year than I did.
He's a savage at the game. Sometimes it's just he's not even looking at the screen. He's like, Mike, these kids are just too easy, man. Fuck. I'm like, what the heck? It's the only times, we do the videos on our channel, the game movies, and most of the times people make fun of our gameplay. They're like, man, you guys suck, man. Like, how do you have so many subscribers? Like, you guys are terrible. But whenever he plays the game, it's like, wow.
Well, some games,
who'd you hire? Who'd you hire to do this video? Some games.
We didn't get that for Madden. When I played Madden, no.
They're like, you don't know any of the plays. You're a fucking idiot. Yeah, he did Madden.
I don't watch any football, so.
Yeah.
That's terrible. You should have had Neil do Madden for you.
I should have, but whatever. We had Javi, and he fucked it up.
Hey, you did it. You did it. You got through it.
He's a nerd through and through.
All right, but first topic before we jump heavily into Destiny 2, I want to talk about the DCEU. We've got Will Smith with us today on set.
Will Smith.
Yeah. So the main thing that I want to talk about is shared universes. Now, we've seen it multiple times now, and I feel like everybody's doing it to the point where I've even read articles now about, like, the death of the shared universe. So, like, the first people who we could say really started it might have been Marvel. Maybe you could even might stretch it to, like, Alien and Predator.
I mean, if we want to go way back, we talk about the MonsterVerse.
That's true.
You
know, that's true.
And that recently is coming back.
Yeah, and they're bringing it back.
But I think, especially like
modern,
but
modern, yeah, in modern times it would probably be Marvel.
And I guess this generation is definitely Marvel that like really at least blew it up.
Yeah, and I think they've made it bigger than anybody else has at this point. They've probably made more films, I think, than the MonsterVerse had made. Now it's like what is it, like 13, 14 films or something like that now?
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous. I mean, not in like a bad way. I mean, I think we all enjoy the Marvel movies to some extent. Yeah.
We might get bored of it.
But we might get bored of it. But the other thing that I want to talk about, but like going back to DC films, I guess that's its rightful name, not DCEU anymore, but DC films. Recently, it was stated that Todd Phillips, the writer and I think director of The Hangover, is writing a Joker film that is going to be produced by Martin Scorsese. And they're looking to have Leonardo DiCaprio play the role of the Joker. And it's a Joker origin movie, right? Now, the thing about it is we already have Jared Leto in Suicide Squad and the rest of the DC films. I mean, as of now, he's only done Suicide Squad. But they've already talked about him being in Suicide Squad 2, in Gotham City Sirens, which is like a Harley Quinn spinoff with the other women of Gotham. Poison Ivy and I don't know who else they might have. Batgirl. Batgirl's getting her own film. And then we have, they're in talks of doing a Harley Quinn Joker film, like his own thing. But then you've got this film that's being essentially made. It's not in production yet.
It's going to be separate from the
But it is to be separate from the shared universe.
Okay.
That's confusing.
So exactly. So I wanted to talk about that. First of all, just with that knowledge, like what do you think is going on internally with DC? I mean, we've heard, like we've had Superman, which was like it did well in the box office, but critically it was. I mean, it wasn't hated, but it didn't do great.
No, I think money-wise, it didn't do that good.
I thought it did okay
compared to the budget. It's one of those things where it's like I think it made $200 million or something, but you're gambling on $300 million, which is kind of like For
I mean, yeah, it's possible. Yeah, there was talk about the film not making what they projected it would make, but I mean it made enough to warrant them continuing. Making the universe, because the first film that was meant to build a universe was actually Green Lantern, and when that was
bombed,
when that bombed on all sides, they were just like, okay, we're just gonna go ahead and lock this away, and we're gonna start over again using Superman. And then we had Batman vs Superman, which was I guess almost like split down the middle between the people who loved the film and the people who hated the film, but for the most part it was critically hated, but it still made good money. Then we had Suicide Squad, which again critically hated. Most people didn't like it, but that made Warner Brothers a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
And then we have the saving grace of the DC films, Wonder Woman, which was critically acclaimed, loved, and it's still making good money. It's actually beaten Deadpool. I think it beat Spider-Man: Homecoming at this point in terms of money making and stuff. So it's doing very well.
It was a good movie.
It was a good movie.
I saw it twice. I think 3 times maybe.
I saw it twice, but especially from what it's come from, it's really good.
Yeah. So with all that, they've had these films that have bombed, things that they projected were going to be like the from God, these great films. That was the first time we got to see the Trinity, Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman in a film. And everybody was excited, and it kind of failed.
I mean, I think it just comes down to Snyder. I mean, he's the one who set the tone from the beginning. So I'm not here to criticize him, but obviously a lot of people didn't like his direction, and I think since then it messed up their whole trajectory, because then it's kind of like now they got to struggle to figure out what the hell they're gonna do,
right?
And how they're gonna change it to work with everything they already have.
Yeah. And so I mean, I hated Man of Steel. Like I fell asleep in Man of Steel, like during the action scene.
Wow.
I just didn't. It was one of those I was there, enjoyed watching it. It's a big big production, but it was just kind of like.
It wasn't the worst movie ever. It's just like I think you're expecting it to be a certain way, and it wasn't.
And we've talked about this before about hype, especially in video games, how hype can kill things. And that was just one of those where it was like, man, you haven't seen Batman. At least you've seen movies throughout the years. You've seen the cartoons and everything. Whereas Superman is like, what, since, like, I mean, the last Superman wasn't even relevant. Like the Superman Returns. Like people didn't even, a lot of people don't even know that movie exists, you know? And then the Christopher Reeves ones were good, but only the first two. I don't know about 3, 4, and 5, you know?
No, yeah. The 1 and 2 are probably like up there as like one of the crown jewels in DC films in general. And then the rest of the films were like a huge decline. Like if you were to look at the map, it would just like there's like a straight line going down at one point.
It's a cliff falling off a cliff.
When Richard Pryor came on
I don't know. I would definitely Richard Pryor. That's how you knew everything fell off the rails. And not even peak Richard Pryor.
But like later days.
Later Richard Pryor. Yeah, I would say Snyder though. I think that because he's not that involved now, right? They've kind of shifted.
Well, what happened was DC. I mean, he directed Justice League, and he filmed the majority of the film. It was basically done. All that was left to do was the post-production and then some catch-up on some reshoots.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, and again, heart goes out to Snyder and his family. His one of his children passed away.
Yeah.
And he had to step away from the project. Just to spend time with his family. And now there had been talks about Joss Whedon, the director of the first 2 Avengers films, directing a Batgirl film. So he had already started making that happen. And then the studio just went to him and said, like, would you pick up where Zach left off? And then now there's this whole thing about the tone of the film shifting because of Joss Whedon. And he's done extensive reshoots. He's even done some rewrites on the film and whatnot, to the point where all the sources make it seem like the film that Zack Snyder was putting out isn't going to be the same film that we're going to see.
I mean, that's expected, though. That's what happened in Superman 2, where they switched directors,
right
in the middle.
Which is why that you have the Donner cut of Superman 2.
Yeah. And it still came out good. So
that's true. That's true. But we see all this scrambling, right? You see the fact, Zack Snyder. Well, actually, before we even jump into that portion, I want to know maybe between or what you guys feel about, let's say, Batman versus Superman specifically, because that's where like the decline for the films really started. Like Superman just didn't really set the bar, but like the film that was going to set the bar really didn't. It was probably more of a downstep in terms of how audiences viewed it, in terms of like Man of Steel.
Justice League.
Well, Man of Steel to Batman versus Superman, I feel like a lot of people felt like it was a downstep, even though Man of Steel wasn't much of a high step as it was, or as people expected it to be. Personally, I didn't hate any of the films. I actually kind of liked Batman versus Superman. Okay. There's parts of me that I like thoroughly enjoyed it. I think it wasn't written for mass audiences. I think it was really, if like you're like a comic book fan, there's like a lot of nods to things in the film that make you think like, oh, it's like a comic book fan. You're like, oh crap, like they're doing this, or oh, there's like a little thing of this in there. But in terms of like it for mass audiences, I think it was like a kind of a rough film for people to get through, especially now that they did like the what is it? The director's cut or the Ultimate Edition, I think is what it's called.
I haven't
watched that. That's like a bit longer, and they actually do elaborate more, and I feel like that should have been the film that they put out, but I mean it was a little longer, and
it's like 20 minutes longer, I think.
It's like close to almost 30 minutes, I think.
It was like 3 hour.
Yeah, it's basically a 3 hour film at that point.
3 hours. Sit through the 3 hours again just to get those 30
minutes.
I don't know.
Did you like? I forgot. Did you like the movie?
Batman versus Superman. No, the saving grace for me was the Wonder Woman coming in and her action scene. For the most part, I don't know. The movie felt kind of rushed. I didn't care about Lex Luthor really. Yeah. And like I don't know if it's because of Jesse Eisenberg or if it's just like they didn't flesh him out enough for me. It was just something about him it really took away from the movie for me. That was one of the big parts.
You bring up a really good like interesting thing. You say that you didn't care for Lex Luthor. So you feel like maybe either it was because of Jesse Eisenberg or because it wasn't fleshed out. Let's just say that it's because he wasn't fleshed out enough for you. How do you feel about Marvel film villains?
Kind of the same. Like
Okay.
at least like Loki, I really liked him, and I think his lead up was better than Lex Luthor's lead up, but his what is the word? His actual like what he tried to do didn't work. Whereas Lex Luthor, it's everything. You know what I mean? Like Loki he seemed really cool. He seemed like he was gonna be all this, but he ended up being really lackluster at the end for me. And then Lex Luthor, like from what I remember, he's one of the smartest people in DC. And I didn't feel any of that. Like I didn't feel any of the intimidation you would feel, like that he would bring to the superheroes. I didn't feel any of that.
So do you feel like that maybe then it was the casting more so than
maybe and that's what I'm thinking. Maybe it was that because Loki, Tom Hiddleston, like his character seemed very menacing up until he didn't. You know,
up until Hulk grabbed him and just like
up until you realize that he's not as powerful as he feels. You know, he's a lot of talk, which his talk was good. You know, his or I guess his bark was better than his bite kind of thing. You know, and I didn't feel that with Lex Luthor at all.
Okay.
And even though I guess the movie was supposed to be focused more on Batman versus Superman, but that didn't even last very long.
Sure.
Yeah, because I think the core argument between them two is just like it's so implausible at that point of them not knowing each other. To me, it's just like, wouldn't they just kind of work it out before it got to this point? Like I didn't like how they
needed
framed
something
it.
more like substantial to fight over.
Yeah, I see.
It seemed like Batman was really just jealous.
Yeah, like I like the way they do it in Injustice, where it's like after years of you know fighting together, and then something splits them apart.
Yeah,
but like this
I
is
would
just,
agree with that. I feel like they really were trying to cash out on the name of the film.
Yeah. The verses,
yeah,
you know,
verses.
But like that's the perfect name. You couldn't structure a name better than that.
Yeah, and I think
for you know getting money.
One of the big things I had thought for a while of why the movie was probably like the way it was. It's rush. They're trying to catch up to Marvel so hard.
You're correct.
It just feels like they're trying to rush. Like they don't know each other basically in the movie, like you said. So it's just like they're just trying to build everything out of the way so they can get to the Justice League movie.
And then Marvel also has the kind of the luck that even though Spider-Man and X-Men aren't part of their universe, and for the Avengers, at least when it started, like those movies were out and they kind of like people just kind of lump them together. So you kind of feel like there's been years of stuff like building up and stuff.
Well, I mean, even at this point, we've had years of stuff building up. Like first Marvel Universe film was Iron Man that came out in 2007, 6 or 7.
7, yeah, around that time.
So it's been years now. It's all but either close to or 10 years. It's around that.
Well, yeah, mark. I mean, I'm just saying when the first Avengers movie came out. Like at that point, there had been maybe 4 years of Thor, Iron Man, but they also had like a backlog of the Spider-Mans and the X-Men movies, even though they're not part of that universe.
Right,
they're still modern enough.
But they're still like people just kind of like Marvel, you know, like
it isn't like the Christopher Reeve's Superman. They're just too old.
Yeah, and then
to put them together, to correlate them.
And of course, and then Nolan's Batmans just feel like a completely different.
Completely different, you know, yeah, that's very separate.
And so, like, kind of like what I'm just referring to is that they're saying they're trying to catch up, and they really did because they don't have anything else. You know, it was just Man of Steel, and then
within 2 years, or like 3 years, or whatever, they tried to like.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, it's kind of the. I think the difference here isn't that the films were necessarily rushed because Justice League to 2012 till 2017. It's around the same amount of time that it took from Iron Man 1 to about Avengers.
Yeah.
The only thing that's different here, I think, for a lot of people is that the characters that we're going to see in Justice League all didn't get an origin film.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing. But in terms of time and films, I mean, DC kind of did the same thing. They just took a different route in terms of let's already have a seasoned Batman, which I kind of completely agreed with. I was like, I like that because now I don't have to sit through. No offense, I mean they still did it, but like the origin story again.
Yeah, that's
like, because we got.
That's exactly.
Like I love that they didn't do it. They had one scene.
No, but even that, we're like, do we really need to watch? Because we even said that about Spider-Man. Like, if I watch Uncle Ben die one more fucking time, like. I don't need to see you at this point. You know Batman's origin story, and they still put that shit in there.
Well, I mean, I think they put it in there solely to have the payout at the end of the movie with the Martha,
your mom's name's Martha. My mom's name's Martha. Oh my god.
I think that was the idea. You know what's funny though? Like a lot of people were like, "Oh, that's so stupid" or whatever. I walked out of the theater like, "Holy shit! I've read comic books for years now. I never realized that they were named Martha."
No, I'll be honest.
I didn't know that.
That never clicked to me either.
It never clicked, but it just seems such a dumb idea.
It just seems so superficial. Like, wow, like we are the same. You're a superhuman alien or whatever. You're a super alien who can fly around, but your mom's name is Martha. Now we're friends. It just seems so playground. Like, you have a red truck, I have a red truck. Like, let's be friends forever. Like, yeah, I don't know, man. That show is just
too much.
The movie was. I thought Batman vs Superman needed to cut 30 minutes, and then it would have been a way better movie.
Wasn't the what's it called? His mom dying again or his parents dying again? Wasn't like 10 minutes?
Yeah,
like
and
they
then
could have cut that out.
They could have. I mean, they could have shortened it. I understand why they use it as a plot point, but they could have shortened that. I don't think they needed the tease. I mean, it was cool, like the Wonder Woman and the whole little tease for the other characters, but that didn't really need to be in there because
that could have just been after.
It was just kind of distracting. You know what I mean? I was like, "Whoa, are we gonna see the Flash here?" And then it's called Dawn of Justice, and I was just kind of thinking like, "Oh, I wonder if we're gonna see something other than this video." After credits would have been perfect, but putting it in the middle of the movie just felt like propaganda to me. It just felt like ad placement. Like, here's Coca-Cola bottle. Like, it just didn't. I feel like they were just trying to do too much. If they would have just cut 30 minutes, it would have been a way better movie, for me at least.
Well, okay, so now the future of DC films is we've got, obviously, Justice League comes out later this year in November. And then moving forward, they've already got Suicide Squad 2 in the works. David Ayer, who did Suicide Squad 1, is doing Gotham City Sirens. We have Joss Whedon doing Batgirl. We have a Shazam film, which I think is coming out with New Line Cinema as well as Warner Brothers. I think maybe New Line has some rights to it. And then you have the Batman film, which Matt Reeves is director of the Planet of the Apes films. There was talk about Ben Affleck not coming back, but that's not true. Ben Affleck is coming back. And then there's also talk just to clear up a couple rumors. There's also talk about the film not being a part of the DC films universe. It wasn't going to be shared.
Yeah,
but
I saw that.
When Matt Reeves clarified, what he was saying is that it's going to be a Batman film, not a film that is going to try and build a universe by giving you cameos of other characters. It's just a Batman movie, which
is nice.
So it's still in the universe. It's just not going to be like.
Yeah, you won't see Superman or you won't see the Flash or anything like that. It'll just be Batman and his villains or villain. It's gonna
be like the Marvel movies where everything, like, there's something.
Yeah, there's always an interconnection or whatever. It's not gonna be like that. I mean, there might be like a quick nod at something, but no like cameos is what he's trying to say.
At least.
I think that's honestly a better direction for the universe.
I mean, I feel like honestly that's kind of something that I've liked about the Marvel films, is that each film feels individual, but at the same time connected to a greater cause. And I feel like the last couple films have just, for DC, have just been like, with the exception for me of Wonder Woman, which I feel like was a solid film just through and through. Everything else kind of felt like, okay, we do have to build, like how you were saying. I didn't feel that it felt rushed, but I could see them like, we got to fit as much in here so that we can get to the thing that everybody wants to see, rather than like, let's just, let's give you a story that we feel needs to be told.
I wonder how much Justice League. I mean, I feel like the name will carry a lot, regardless of how people felt about the other.
Movies. I mean, just like, no offense to the Avengers, but like, everybody knew Justice League.
Exactly.
They had a cartoon.
Exactly. You had the cartoons.
Didn't have at least the Avengers, like, as a whole.
Like in the 90s, at least, didn't have like a cartoon or early 2000s.
Justice League had
a very great cartoon. It was a fantastic cartoon series.
And a lot of little spin-off stuff too.
Yeah.
I mean, and I've actually, we talked about that before about, I mean, I didn't read the comics. I watched the cartoons. Yeah. And so for me, like when they started coming out with Iron Man, I was like, oh, they're bringing out the B list. Like they're out of like the X-Men and Spider-Man shit. You know, I mean, not knowing really that like.
Which is true though. I mean, in terms of Marvel, like if you're a comic book reader, like yeah, sure, Iron Man, Thor, Captain America are like their faces for Marvel, but they weren't Spider-Man or Wolverine. Like those are like the true faces of Marvel when you think about like the cool characters, you know what I mean? The characters that every kid wants an action figure of or wants to be or whatever. Those are the characters. Not until like the Iron Man movie came out did anybody really care about Iron Man. He was for the most part considered a B-list character.
Yeah, I mean, because he even got a cartoon too.
Yeah,
but it was canceled after a year because nobody watched it. You know.
And it's I almost like, you know, give Marvel a round of applause because they did and built a great universe without two of their most popular characters.
They're two most popular characters.
Spider-Man are by far the most popular.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, maybe not now because all those.
No, I would even say still now. Like if you go to any part of the world and you show somebody his like face, you're like, who is this? They'll be able to say Spider-Man in their own language.
Spider-Man, yeah, but I think X-Men has been.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
I think they have been supplanted.
It's just like the gap isn't as big as it was before the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
I would say the Avengers is higher now than the X-Men because of the movies, but I think Spider-Man is just just like somewhere over here, you know.
He's still there. But okay, so we were talking about the future of DC and all their work and stuff. But now we have Flashpoint coming out, which is going to talk about the multiverse. Do you think that DC has like a good card to play here by allowing directors or storytellers to be able to tell those stories like the Joker film, which is not a part of the shared universe because it's a different universe, but still a part of the multiverse? Do you think that that's a good idea, or do you think that that is going to be too confusing for audiences? Because now you can get, like, I can feasibly see something like Injustice 2 happening, right? You start Injustice 2 with the actors that we have. You have Henry Cavill turning into, like, the evil Superman, Ben Affleck as the, you know, Batman that's, like, trying to stop the regime or whatever. And then when they jump into a different timeline, maybe you have Brandon Routh come back as the other Superman. I'm just spitballing here.
Yeah.
And not that it would actually happen because I doubt Christian Bale would do it, but you have Christian Bale as, you know, Batman, and then you have this like whole other side of these universes that have been played with already coming back, or just having different actors play the superheroes in different universes. Again, giving people the opportunity to tell stories that don't have to be a part of the shared universe, but still
part of the
shared,
multiverse.
but part of the multiverse.
I mean, it's still shared. It's just
It's just it gives people more freedom.
It's not one time, not Earth 1.
Yeah, which again is a huge thing in the comic books here. You know, like you have Earth 1, Earth 2, Earth. You know, there's so many Earths depending on the writer. If they just don't want to hold canon to something else, they'll change it.
It's one of those things. Like I hope it does well because as confusing as it is, even in the comic books, I'm sure it's one of the more interesting parts of it.
Yeah.
You know.
Like and I think it gives us room to see an Injustice film, which is something that I think everybody would like to see to some point.
I remember, I think it was Batman Beyond, where they had like, he was fighting Superman because Superman had gone evil and started just killing off other Justice League members.
I don't know if it was Batman Beyond. I think that's actually a Justice League episode called it's part of the Justice League Unlimited Dark Justice?
It might be. I for some reason remember Terry McGinnis because I remember Bruce isn't part of it.
Oh, okay.
And it's Terry that kind of figures it out. But I could be wrong.
I mean, everybody's always trying to turn Superman evil at some point.
But like, I thought that was one of the more interesting stories, like ways they were telling it, you know. And I mean, it'd be great if they able to do it well, so that it doesn't turn people off. Like I'm sure Marvel, when they wanted to bring in the cosmic universe, they had a lot of hesitation.
Oh yeah.
I think that's the way they need to do it now that you're saying it, but I think what they would need to do is Justice League has to bring up that concept somehow to people. About
I think they will. I mean, when you have Cyborg who opens up boom tubes, different, you know, dimensions or different parts of space and time, I think that's the opening. Yeah. And then you have the Flash, who's literally jumping into an alternate timeline where Bruce died, and his father became Batman, and his mother became the Joker, which again I think was another reason that they replayed the sequence of the parents dying in Dawn of Justice, because they were always going to do that. I felt like Flashpoint was a logical step for a Flash film.
Okay, well, I mean, if they can do that, then I think it'll make their universe stand out as opposed to Marvel, because I think people are getting tired of it. And
there's fatigue. There's some superhero fatigue, and I think that you need to see something different.
I think there's universe fatigue too.
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
I think it was cool when it was starting because it's such a new thing. You always wanted to see that growing up, like different movies connect together, and it's really only possible because of the internet, because there's so much fandom that you can actually get an audience for things and people who are like really into one thing, and you couldn't do that before. Now you can. But yeah, there's definitely fatigue because then it just becomes all about the bigger story, and you can't tell these separate stories that are cool on their own. So yeah, I think actually that's a fucking great idea. Like, but as long as Justice League or Flashpoint introduces that concept to people,
gives us that concept,
because it is confusing. Like,
I can see it being confusing, especially again seeing Jared Leto and then possibly Leo DiCaprio playing the Joker with no connection to it. I mean, in the comics, they've recently talked about there being 3 Jokers actually at all times. There's always been 3 Jokers, so maybe we might see something like that. So if you guys need a 3rd Joker, you guys let me know, Warner Brothers. I got you, all right. But anyways, so moving forward, I think we all agree maybe a multiverse is a good idea.
Yeah.
Multiverse, good idea.
Yeah. I like it. Do
that.
I can mess with that.
Yeah, let's do that. Or you guys can come to me and I'll write you guys a movie. I'd be down to do that in a multiverse. All right, Destiny 2.
Destino.
So you've played Destiny 2. Yeah. Well, you've both played Destiny 2 at this point, right?
Well, I've seen the whole thing and I edited it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I played it all last night.
Yeah, Monday played it.
So. Let me ask you this: like, you played Destiny 1. I think we probably all played. Destiny 1.
Destiny 1.
We've all played Destiny 1 before. Just kind of putting yourself back before you even played Destiny 2. What were you hoping that Destiny 2 would bring to the table?
Just a more, because Destiny 1, the big problem, especially with the base game, was the story was there was nothing really there. There was no real story. There was concepts, but nothing together. Taken King really brought started their storytelling, like a really well thought out storytelling, and I was hoping Destiny 2 would have it, and for the most part they have.
Okay. Yeah. They did. It did improve on that front a lot. I mean, they had cutscenes because like in the first one they had like 2 cutscenes, I think.
And the other thing is just like you have to read the dialogue being told while you're talking to like one of the faction leaders. That
was just our biggest gripe from the get-go, was that we really loved the universe they created, and they took zero advantage of it. They didn't, there were so many great stories being told.
They mentioned like the Battle of Twilight Gap, all these things that they were mentioning.
You're like, dude, that sounds sick, and then you would see nothing about it.
Right.
And I know he got really into, because Destiny has like some of the most hardcore fans, and people would write stories to this stuff, and a lot of people would read them because it would just kind of flesh out. So it was like the fans fleshing out the universe.
I know that there's like a whole thing. I mean, it's not the first game to do this. I mean, Resident Evil did it where, you pick up little cards or something, and then they kind of tell you bits and pieces of the universe or the story that as a whole.
And that's that's how most of their lore, I guess you would say.
Yeah, that's
lore. How most of their lore was being told.
And that's something that I would say I had an issue with Destiny 1 is just like, again, I'm a story guy. Like, I'm not really like a hardcore like first-person shooter type gamer, you know what I mean? So Destiny wasn't like my strongest suit. It was a fun game, and it was especially fun to be able to play it with friends and to go out and do like a raid or something. That was always fun. But there was no story to it for me, so I kind of started falling off fairly early on. Like, once I beat the core game before all the DLCs came along, I was kind of like, okay, like I moved on to something else. You know what I mean? I lost my interest there.
Luckily for me, I am as much as I love story games and all that, I love games where you progress and you get new skills. Like, I'm sure if I would
that was one thing about the game, the gear system.
Yeah, if I would have ever played like World of Warcraft, I would have been sucked in. Luckily, I never got into it.
Yeah, Javi is just like, if there's unlockables in the game, that's like,
there's unlockables.
If you could inject like fucking like an RPG system into his veins, like he's just
just give it to me.
I don't even play that many RPGs. It's just games with loot, like Borderlands. Borderlands is one of my favorites.
You just snort loot for days.
And then like having all the different abilities. Like in Borderlands, one of my favorite. Like I wanted to get to I wanted to level up just so I can use see what the next skill that you can't get yet because you're not the right level. And Destiny had that a little bit, so.
They had
That's what kept me, even though the story wasn't that strong.
And they had the randomness of the loot drops, which really made people addicted to it because people would complain about it the same way a gambling addict complains about losing all their money on the fucking blackjack table. But they'd be back there.
Be back again,
next paycheck, they'd be back there playing blackjack. And the same thing.
Exactly.
No, I agree. Like, I mean, the loot, I'm sure over time with other DLCs, the loot system got way better than it did, or there was bugs fixed, or eventually like the light system that came into the game and stuff, things like that.
They changed because they have a great, with Destiny, the base, like they had a great like structure for what a game should be.
Right.
It's just there was a lot of stuff that
the number one thing that matters in that is when you point your gun and shoot it at somebody, how does it feel? And like, it feels amazing on Destiny.
Does. Destiny, and also something I just wanted to talk about, even just for the first game. The maps on the game, like expansive and like beautifully detailed, and at the same time something that we haven't really seen before. The way that I mean, we've seen shooting games with aliens before, you know what I mean? But this was like the first time where it did feel special. Like I remember like the hype around the game, and that there's just like this new like breath of like fresh air to like shooting games for the first time.
I mean, and that's what it is. It's a shooting game.
Yeah, I mean that's what it is.
It's a
FPS,
shooting loot game.
Yeah,
and we've had some of those already, but it felt for some reason different.
It felt different,
right?
I think, and again, the universe, dude. Like for me, I love the idea that the Traveler came and kind of like made everything superhuman, basically.
Like, and one of the things that we don't even know is that they were the Fallen who we're fighting. Like a lot of people, like I don't think it's
spoilers.
Yeah, no. Well, that's from we know that.
Okay.
But like, what I'm saying is like, when you're first playing the game, how do you ever know that the Fallen, the reason they're called the Fallen is because they were originally part of the like, I guess what's the word? They're like what we were.
We were. So you're looking in the mirror what you're gonna become when the Traveler leaves your ass.
Yeah.
And there's so much mystery around the Traveler, and it's just like. You're just like, God, I love this. This is great. And then you were saying like the cards. The worst thing about the cards is that you got to go online.
Yeah, and even the cards didn't have that much.
Yeah, they didn't really have that much, and you would have to go on the like computer or on your phone,
and, like figure it all out.
Yeah, like
or map yourself your own story.
I mean, at the very least, like have like a place in the game where you can go read the cards. I don't know if they have that now, but you would have to.
I mean, I haven't found any Grimoire, which is what it was called.
Yeah.
So I have no idea yet.
Yeah, man, it's I don't know. The story is better this time. It's not a great story, but at least it's like they have a story now in this one. They have good characters.
Yeah, and the Taken
one.
King like really brought those characters out, and now they're more involved.
Yeah, but still, I'm sure. I mean, I already know half the internet is gonna be disappointed with it, which is half the internet is disappointed in everything apparently. But But as far as like, did they improve it from one? Yes, they tenfold improved the story from the first one, you know.
Okay, so one thing that I'll say, which is again kind of the reason I kind of walked away from the game even before the DLCs, which is something that I haven't played. I haven't actually played the DLCs for the first game. How would you? I mean, it's a new game. I got it. Thank you, Machinima. So I'm gonna play it regardless. Activision.
Thank you. Activision.
For free games, because why not?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna play it regardless.
Right.
I mean, if I like Destiny 1, I imagine I'll like Destiny 2. But what about it called your attention to be like, okay, like there's more to be seen here? Like with 1, they really upped their game with the DLCs, right? Why?
Well, it wasn't
why
until the Taken King, because the first 2 DLCs were a major disappointment.
Yeah. Okay. People were like they were rioting in the streets.
I think they were like 45 minutes. Like, they were nothing.
Well,
the Taken King really
pushed that. Okay.
And then the Rise of Iron.
But why get Destiny 2? From your point of view, now that you've played it, why get Destiny 2? What's different? What's the new fresh thing about it that's gonna make people who were playing 1 and who maybe got bored of 1 to be like, 2, I gotta get that?
Well, right now, like one of the things I was hoping with Destiny 2 is we would kind of learn more about the past. It doesn't seem like that we're necessarily going that route, especially the main game. But what they've done is forget the past. You know, this is something new. We're starting from this point and telling a story. Whereas before it was like, where's the story? There's nothing going on. You know, it was we heard about all these great wars, all this stuff that had happened, but it's like it happened. So why do we care? At least for Destiny 1, Destiny 2, that's still in the background. Like that's still something you want to know. But the story being told is a new one. You know, you lost your light and now you have to try to fix everything.
So would it be something in comparison to like a True Detective? Like each season is a completely different story.
That's what it's felt. That's what it's felt like. I mean, they're connected.
Yeah,
especially Taken King and Rise of Iron.
Yeah.
But like, it's still. I don't even think it matters. I think you could just play part 2 and not ever have played part 1, and like.
Because it starts the same. Like the thing that's cool is like you're trying to fix everything now. In the first game, you're trying to fix it, but you never do anything. It doesn't seem like you're doing anything of importance. You know. Because of the way the story is structured, it's like you don't know what's going on. Yeah. Taken King really helped fix that a little bit. Rise of Iron was a little bit more of like a side story than anything, but it was still better than the base game. And then this one is, like I said, it's just telling a better story, you're more involved.
So that's what you would say they brought to the table this time around in Destiny 2 is they brought the story.
They didn't do shit. Look, what they did is they know everybody's gonna buy the fucking game, and that's just modern gaming, and that's all it is. It's like everybody buys it because of the hype. Because if you were to read all the comments, like literally fucking the majority of people hated the game part 1, and yet Destiny 2 had way more beta users, had way more pre-orders. I'm sure it's gonna sell more than Destiny 1. It's the same thing. People just complain about it, and they know that they don't have to change it because people are addicted to it. You know, it's the same thing with Call of Duty. Everybody was complaining about Modern Warfare 3 being Modern Warfare 2.5. That was a joke at the time, 2.5. And it sold more than Modern Warfare 2. How? Like, how is that possible? Like, if you really hate the game, they didn't have to change shit because they know people are addicted to the system. They're going to keep playing the game. At the core, it's fun, and people just like complaining for little shit. And they understand that because they have a big-ass fan base who loves the game the way it is, and those are the people that matter to them. So they didn't change jack shit. They added a story. All the HUDs look the same.
Yeah.
All the graphics look the same.
I was going to say, does the graphics look any better?
It looks a little bit better.
It looks better because it's on, like, it looks better. Like, it's the same thing when you went from 360 to Xbox One on Destiny 1, kind of.
Yeah.
Like, it looked better.
It looked better, but it doesn't look like, oh my god. I mean, if you play it on the PC,
some of the cutscenes look really good.
Oh, they do. But
and
if you
the world, like I don't know if you remember, but like when you first get onto one of the, like you're looking at one of the mountains, just taking.
But cutscenes are cutscenes. But
pre-rendered.
I know. But he's saying like the actual, it does look better because it was built from the ground up on the Xbox One and PS4, whereas Destiny 1 was built on the Xbox 360.
But it's not a super noticeable.
It's not like you're not gonna just be mind blown by it. Okay. If you play it on PC, then if you have a good rig, then But
well, we haven't played it on there yet,
so we don't know. But I mean, I know for a fact they didn't. This literally could be the next DLC to Destiny 1.
Yeah, and that's one of the things a lot of people are complaining about. That it could have just been an expansion instead of getting rid of all your stuff from before. But like I said, they wanted to like start all over and.
Ouch.
Yeah. They that's just the same, dude. It's just like.
All right. Like out of 10, what would you rate it?
8.
8 out of 10. That's solid. What would you say?
Yeah, I would say 8 too. It's hard to say because it's one of those games you got to
Yeah, and
like the story is like a 8 or whatever, but the game is really about the PvP and the loot,
and that's all I care about. And I haven't gotten to that point of the game.
Yeah.
All right, well, time to spend more time on my PlayStation. Sorry, I had a son not too long ago, and I'm not even gonna see him anymore. So. My girlfriend is probably somewhere listening, and she's like, "No,
like the hell with him. Put the sticks in his hand. Get him ready right now.
You're gonna need people for the raid.
He's gonna get him ready right now. Wait, before we switch, I wanted to talk about the esports about Destiny.
Oh,
quick.
That's getting huge for a lot of games, but
I think that's the next big one. I think
Destiny 2. You think is going to be the next esports?
They're making it for esports, and like it's just they never released their official numbers of how much they sold, but I'm more than positive they sold like over 10 million copies of Part 1.
Oh, Part 1.
Probably 15. Who knows? I mean, they this one's gonna sell more than that. This one's gonna sell like 15, 20 million. It's that big.
So you think we're gonna see it at the Olympic Games soon?
It could.
Well, I mean, no, that's a serious talk. It's something that's been talked about.
I mean, because you had mentioned the esports and seeing how the game is so random and like, I still haven't seen how all the gun, like how their stats and how their their different abilities, how that works yet. Because I mean, there's no way the first game would have been in esports just because of how many different stuff there is. There's some guns that are just naturally better than others, and I'm sure that's going to be the same thing for this game. So that kind of randomness kind of like takes away from a lot of esports because they'd rather not have that.
But they're gearing it toward it. I mean, they can just ban stuff like they do in every game. Like they just ban this and that. I mean, it depends on what they
try
do.
And like make a fine line so that everybody.
And we're talking about
it.
Bungie. I mean, they invented console esports. With Halo. So it's like if they wanted to do it, they can do it.
I've always thought if they're gonna do that, they would have done it. They would have made like a bare bones like arena style playlist, and they haven't done that yet.
I would guess that they will. I mean, even something like Call of Duty, that has esports every year. A lot of times they don't even have like the playlist up and running when the game comes out. True.
And I guess it also like I have a feeling that kind of like would put people off from playing, just going out and just getting loot, and I mean, granted, already for the first 2 years, a lot of people played the multiplayer, the PvP version. Yeah. So I don't know.
That's the only reason they wouldn't do it is what he's saying is the loot, because they want people addicted to that so that they can then sell them like fucking the emojis and shit, or like sell them whatever. I don't know what the fuck they sell on there.
That was pretty much all they sold, and then like weapon camos and shit.
That shaders and stuff.
Every game is doing something like that.
Yeah, but I mean, the more people, I can't see like people playing like esports really caring too much about shit like that.
Yeah, they would have to be a bare bones because they wouldn't be going out for loot. The top players wouldn't care.
Yeah, they wouldn't care. So that's the only reason I can see them just saying like, no, we don't want that. We don't want the esports. We just want like the addicts. Like, give us all the crackheads.
Give us all the crackheads.
Yeah, like
all the Destiny crackheads.
Give us the Destiny crackheads right here, and we're gonna just keep selling them piecemeal. This and that. It's like those little emoji. How much did they sell them for?
Well, you couldn't even buy
tell them how much they sold them for.
I don't remember.
It was
right
like
now.
$5, $6.
No, that was for like I forgot how much, because you could buy for $5. You bought a certain amount of points, and you were able to buy like 2.
So $5, you can buy a dance for your character for $5.
Is that what it looked like?
Yeah, you can do the little. You get the fat man sway, That one, or I don't know, like they had they had some cool ones though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. I don't remember the price because
they had Thriller.
Oh, that one I did buy for Halloween. It was like a Halloween one.
He bought it. He bought a bunch of them.
I forgot because you would buy the 10-pack. I think it was like, I guess it was probably $1 for every 100 points. So it's probably like $5 for the Thriller or $6 for the Thriller one.
That's like, I'm talking about, they don't even make their money on selling the game. Like they said, like
put out a dance today,
I'm talking
guys.
about like they're swimming in cash. They're Scrooge McDucking out of here. Like that shit is like, for your character to do a dance, $6. You know what I mean? Like that's just cash money right there. And I remember at first they're like, we're never gonna do that, never, whatever. Like we would never do that to our fans. And then like a year later, they just like slip it in the middle of the night, like you turn it on,
there you go.
And they're gonna keep doing it little by little. I bet you this game's gonna have way more stuff you can buy.
Yeah, I mean they already have the shop up.
There you go. I mean, but that's the only thing that will hold it, I think.
So not only am I going to spend copious amounts of hours playing Destiny 2, I'm going to spend money.
Copious amounts of money.
Well, I mean, I did get it for free, so.
I mean, so you're okay to buy like $60 worth of shit,
I'll probably end up buying more. Trust me.
Look at Javi. I think Javi set up a separep bank account. Just for,
he got like a loan from the bank.
Yeah, like just for the Destiny shit. I don't know, and I'm not judging you because I would do if it's a game I like.
Honestly, if Injustice had, which it does, have things that you can buy.
Yeah.
Like I'd buy it. You know what I mean? Like there's things that I'm like, I want to get. There's like shaders, the tournament shaders for Injustice 2.
Yeah.
It's all it is for like $6-7. You get 2 shaders, which is like a black and gold one and like a silver and white one. And I was like, I need that in my life.
I need that on my character.
Yeah, I need that.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
I totally understand what that's like, especially when you have an attachment to it. Like Destiny, you get that attachment over time because you're looting for yourself. For me, Injustice 2, all the DC characters, and you get to like make your own costume on each character with all the loot that you get, and then shade them a certain way and stuff. I was like, yeah, man, I'm sold.
Addicting.
It's addicting.
Yeah, so I'm not judging. I mean, I spent like fucking $300 on Clash of Clans. And I told myself when I installed it, I was like, I'm never going to spend a dime.
Free to play.
Yeah, like free to play. I'm not going to spend money. And then like 6 months later, I'm like crying, looking at my bank account. I'm just
you don't
like,
have enough to buy more.
Yeah. Fucking uninstall this piece of shit. Like I literally uninstalled it because I was like, man, fuck this, because I couldn't wait ananymore. Like I was like, God, give me some gems. So
that sucks.
Yeah.
Like, you're not even doing it to like.
Dude, I'm sweating just thinking about it. Like
you're literally paying to play faster.
Exactly.
Yeah. I get that way with mobile games too. I do. Mobile games can get addicting, and I think I'm lucky enough to get to a point with mobile games to where I like get bored of them quickly enough to where I don't get to a point where I start spending too much money. Though there are games that I go back to. There's like I don't even remember what the game is, but it's like a viral game where the whole point of the game is to just like destroy the world using bacteria.
Oh, Virus Inc. or something.
Yeah. And then they have like different packs where it's like, oh, you can do the zombie one where you get the zombie infection one, and then you can kill the world using zombies and shit. So I was like, I'll buy that. You know, it's like $2. Yeah, you got it.
$2, like
yeah,
$2.
A
like
lifetime of destroying the world with zombies for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right. So it's you against the ghost time.
Let's do it.
So what you're gonna be doing? Actually, I'm just gonna explain when we get over there. You don't even get to hear it here.
Okay.
All right. So let's move. Let's go.
All right. You against the ghost. Javi against knowledge. This is like a gamer's little playground reunion. Sorry, did I say that? What the fuck? Gamer's little playground reunion, and we're gonna see if Javi can beat the ghost, which again is knowledge today. Don't fail us. Because I fail us enough. You can't fail us.
You carry enough failure in your life.
I carry enough failure. So what's gonna happen, Javi, is you're gonna be playing the game, right? The goal is to win,
right?
Obviously, but I'm also gonna be asking you some trivia questions that you have to try and answer, right? So if you don't answer it and you pass, you lose that point. Okay. The point is to get as many points as possible. Okay. So I would suggest.
Top of our leaderboard.
I would suggest if you don't know it, just
pass.
Don't pass. I would just say something.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
If you absolutely don't know, just say something. Pass is wrong anyways.
There's no going back.
We'll for sure have our leaderboard next time. I think.
Yeah, you know what? I feel like we've kind of become like whose line is it anyway? We're like the points, and it just doesn't matter. Just watch it because it's fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we should put up a leaderboard.
Yeah, we should put a leaderboard.
All right.
I think TJ's number 1 still. TJ's number 1.
TJ?
Yeah, he did well.
Yeah, he did.
And then Onyx is last.
Onyx is last. Yes.
I mean, isn't there only 3?
No,
4.
there's Kimmy
there's 4.
and
That's
yeah.
right.
So you're 5.
So I'm 5. Yeah, I forgot you had 2 people.
All right, let's fucking go.
All right, let's
that
see
one
it
look
happen.
right there, the third one.
Oh.
Come on, man. See, look, that looks like Final Destination.
Is that all you want, Mike?
All right.
Okay.
As soon as the game starts,
Let's go, Javi. Fuck.
Okay.
It's so aggressive.
I'm ready for the question.
Are you ready, Javi? You ready?
No, not anymore.
Oh my God, I jumped off.
All right, number 1. What was the name of the first Destiny's composer?
Oh my God, I don't know.
Oh, you're blanking? No way. You're blanking?
I got to him.
He's nervous. He's
I
nervous.
completely forgot. Martin? Is that his first name? I can't remember the last name. That's all I got.
We get half a point for that.
So what is that going to say? Correct or wrong?
Correct
It's going to
or
say
wrong?
both.
It's going to say half. Yeah.
Okay, you get like half a point for that one.
I can't remember his name.
The answer is Martin O'Donnell.
Yes,
Marty
it is.
O'Donnell.
Marty O'Donnell.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, number 2. The original Doom. All right, now I'll read it out. The original Doom was released in what year?
1989?
God damn, nope, it was not. 1993.
Wow.
Good guess. Good guess.
All right.
Let's go, baby! No.
No! All right. Number 3. What does NES stand for?
Nintendo Entertainment System.
You better
There
get that
you go.
right.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you gotta
Alright.
turn in your fucking DS. Like, for
All my
real.
DSs
All
in
your
there?
DSs, you gotta turn them in.
All right, name
What?
the 3 Star Wars movie prequels.
Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, and
Oh,
oh man,
Oh, you're missing one.
I'm missing one. I know. Wait, what do I have?
you said Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Everybody's like, oh my god, I can't believe.
That
You
I'm
don't-
not getting it. How much time do I have?
You can just, oh yeah.
Yeah, I know
oh,
we need to implement.
the
I'm gonna
Kimmy
get it.
rule,
I'm gonna
yeah.
get it. The Kimmy rule.
The
We
Kimmy
can't.
rule.
Let me get
Yeah.
a timer started.
Kimmy was like fucking taking 2 minutes to
2
answer
minutes
one
to
question.
answer?
It's just like, come on, Kimmy.
All right, we'll give you 30 seconds per. No, man, maybe not. We'll
Per,
give
yeah, like 15.
15. You get 15 seconds
All right,
starting.
so 15 more seconds. Go.
so 15 seconds starting now. Go.
Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith. Fuck, dude, I can't remember.
All right.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
You got. You're about to. No. It's
Let's
not
go,
gonna
I
happen.
don't. I can't.
And it didn't happen. It's wrong. It was the Phantom Menace is what you were missing.
Fuck, that's okay.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, go in more rounds.
Let's go.
All right.
Best
number
out of 3?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Number 5.
Nah, the real. He's like, oh, he takes off the power glove.
Yeah, it's hard. I'm trying to remember.
Oh, same characters? Let's go.
Oh yeah, I just chose the same one.
All right, let's go. Pick it. Go ahead. Pick it.
I'm gonna run this time.
All right. Use the same one. All right, let's do this shit.
And okay, what famous director directed the 1958 movie Vertigo?
Wait, did you give him the answer to the Star Wars one?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, he did.
Okay,
Phantom Menace.
okay.
Vertigo. I haven't even seen Vertigo.
And we're gonna start the timer now.
What was the year?
1958.
Oh my! What kind of questions did you give me, Mike? Like, I don't even know any directors that are that old. Holy
You
shit.
probably would know only one from that time.
No.
So-
Well, time's over.
Who is
Can
it?
we get the person in the audience to say it? Go ahead. It is
Yeah.
Alfred
Oh my
Hitchcock.
God.
Fun fact: Alfred Hitchcock and I share the same birthday.
Ooh. Okay.
Number 6.
You're looking up now. Shit.
What 1996 Nickelodeon cartoon was about a boy and his friends growing up in the inner city of a fictional American city called Hillwood?
Hey Arnold.
Yeah,
there you
nice.
go.
All right.
While I'm kicking your ass. Okay, that's good.
Number 7. What is the name of Scrooge McDuck's 3 nephews?
Hubert. Deuteronomy.
You're really doing the full names?
Oh, he should get like fucking extra points just for going
And
that
then
hard.
Huey,
Like,
Louie, and Dewey. Yeah, so Huey, Louie, and Dewey.
All right, yeah, you
Yeah.
got that for sure.
I
Number
think they
8.
changed his name recently too.
Wait, whose name?
Deuteronomy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's Dubert.
Dubert? Okay, what does the acronym CD-ROM stand for?
CD-ROM.
And go.
yeah, good. That was hard.
CD-ROM. Computer.
You're already wrong.
Oh my god.
It's compact disc reading only memory. I wouldn't have known that. I would have lost that point personally. All right, next question. The original Pokemon game came in what 2 different colored versions?
Red and green.
Red and blue.
Oh, but I thought Japanese came out first.
Ooh.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
I mean, so.
We're talking about the American version.
Okay,
now.
then blue and red.
Okay.
I don't know what to do about that. Then.
All right, we'll have to confer later because I don't even know the green one was
I thought
really
it,
like
I
a Japanese.
I could be. No, you're right.
Because you
I
think
they
about
came
leaf
out-
green is like a different
You're right.
thing.
I could be wrong.
Yeah, I think you're wrong. So we're gonna
Think
go ahead
you're
and
wrong.
give you a wrong answer.
Wrong.
there.
Okay, we'll double check it and fix it.
Okay,
Yeah.
here you can here's your redemption. What was the 3rd color that was a special edition for red and blue?
Yellow.
There we go.
There you
Boom.
go.
All right, you got that. Cool.
Pikachu.
Yeah.
Pika. Oh shit.
Come back.
Oh no.
Oh. Oh,
Okay.
he has hops though.
They all have
Name-
hops.
Yeah,
What
that's
I saw.
fucking.
Name the 2 main protagonists of The Last of Us.
Joel and.
Starting the timer.
Oh man.
You know what sucks? I know he knows this, but he just can't think of it right now.
Yeah.
That's
Like,
great. That's what
yeah,
we like.
Yeah, that's exactly what we want.
Not Kitty. What is her name?
And done. Spit something out.
Kitty?
Nah, wrong. Ellie.
Ellie. God.
Oh.
All right. Number 12. What was the name of the sequel to 1979's Alien?
The first sequel.
And start. What was
First
it?
sequel to Aliens?
Yeah. To Alien.
To Alien.
Not Alien 2.
It's kind of a trick one.
Yeah, no, that's a trick question. This is great.
Oh,
You like that one?
that was perfect.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a little bit more time just because it's a trick question. Go.
I don't even know. I can't.
What's the sequel to Alien, man?
Alien 2, that's all I know.
Alien 2? No. Wrong. It's Aliens. With an S.
Oh,
It's
wow.
multiple. Oh man, and you know what's funny? He said it too, but I was like,
Yeah,
that
I
was,
did, yeah.
but you were talking about the first one when you said it, so I was like, yeah, you have to say
You
it.
said the sequel to Aliens? It's just
Yeah.
like, nobody.
No.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, that's a common one.
Number 13. What is the name of Sora's homeworld in Kingdom Hearts?
Keep. Oh wow.
Timer started.
Wait.
I won, but
Dude, I had like a character left.
that was your last character.
Oh my god.
Holy crap.
All right, let's go.
Sora's homeworld. I'm gonna give you a little bit more time.
I had so much fun thinking of this question. For many reasons.
Onyx would be pissed.
He would be
because he didn't get this question.
Yeah, he'd be so mad. There's several reasons why this question.
Yeah, I know. I like
Yeah,
your thinking. I
yeah.
see what you're doing there.
Yeah.
All right. I'm just gonna give you a little bit of time because we're down to the last 3 questions anyways.
Okay, and then
And
this
you're
is the
doing
last
another
game.
round,
Yeah, this is
so-
the last round.
All right, we're 1-1.
Dream Island? No. Is it Dream Island?
That's your final answer?
Yeah.
Yeah, wrong. It's Destiny Islands, actually.
Destiny.
See, you see what he did there? Because it's a Destiny show. Because we talked about
Yeah.
Destiny, and then
Yeah, you saw what I did there.
I see what you fucking did. You fucking-
All right.
Fucking bitch.
All right, number 14. Which came out first, the Xbox One or the PS4?
PS4. Really?
Xbox One.
By a week.
Oh.
By a week.
It's just
so
Xbox
close,
didn't
so
sell it
close.
all.
Oh man.
All right, last question. Are you ready?
I think so.
Are you ready? How are you doing? All right, let's see this happen. All right.
No. Okay, go ahead.
What is the highest selling PS4 exclusive?
PS4 exclusive.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right now.
Yeah.
And I'll give you an extra point to make up for your Destiny's Island fail there. If you can also give out a number correctly of how much it's sold.
Oh my god. What exclusives do they even have?
What do you mean? PlayStation is known for its exclusivity.
When you hear that, when you figure it out or hear it, you'll be like, "Come on, of course
damn it,
it
yeah,
is."
yeah.
Like, let's go.
I'm actually trying to think of it. It's not Knack, is it?
Oh, no, you just straight comedy
yeah,
now.
no.
What the?
I'm gonna pretend I didn't hear that one
Yeah.
and give you one more shot.
Okay, exclusive.
No. Let's go.
Not The Last of Us. The Last of Us was PlayStation 3. Honestly, I probably don't even have the game.
So that's it.
Yeah, I really don't know. I don't have.
Just name something. It's your last try.
What is it called? Bloodborne?
It is actually Uncharted 4.
Oh,
Yeah, you're like.
Thieves
I've
End.
never played any
and
of
it's
that.
Yeah,
sold.
but you know you should have.
Yeah, I probably
if
should've
you would have
known.
thought of the game, you should have known.
And
that
it sold
was that.
8.7 million
Oh my
copies.
God. Who bought it?
Well,
If I save you
at
right
this
here,
point-
okay, let's go. Last one.
Last life for both.
Last life.
all right, let's see this happen. That's it. You
Uh-oh.
against the ghost. This is it. Who wins? Who's the victor? Who won the last round?
I did.
Javi, so we're tied 1-1.
Oh, ooh.
Yeah, this is the last round.
We need epic music over this now.
Put it in post. Come here. Oh.
Ooh.
Let's go. Come on, baby.
Oh.
No. He's just trying to smash.
Oh, that's it. Can I come back? Oh!
Oh!
I can. Why is he punched so weird?
No. Okay, I blocked it. Should I go off the ledge?
Do it.
Nah, don't do it.
No. I'm not.
Oh, I killed myself. That's it.
That's
okay.
it. That is
No.
game. Yes. Knowledge. Mike, Miguel,
undefeated,
Mikey, whatever
right?
name you go by, you are the master.
Fucking
The ghost wins again.
All the times playing Smash, I'm fucking retired from Smash. I'm done. I'm going pro at this game.
All right, good going. Good going.
Yeah,
That was
horrible.
good.
That was horrible.
That was. Hey, you did better than Onyx.
Sorry, buddy. I think I answered what, 2 questions right?
I think you had like half. Maybe
Nah,
like
you
7.
had a good amount. You had
Yeah.
a good amount.
Did not feel like it.
It's hard, man.
Yeah.
Going up against the ghost, it's always difficult. You got to think, and he knows the
play.
answers, obviously. So
I
it's
know.
great. All right, so we're gonna move back over to our other set, and we'll see you on the other side. That was the most awkward time I've ever had trying to transition. All right, everybody. Thank you for watching this episode of You Against the Ghost. Hope you enjoyed it. We want to thank you, Javi.
Thank you for having me.
Javi.
Thank you for having us.
Shout out to Nerds with Glasses.
Yeah,
Our-
whoop, whoop.
You didn't
Yeah.
even bring the glasses.
I didn't bring the glasses.
No, but I did.
Yeah.
We did like a little podcast.
I
at
remember
home.
that podcast. I watched a couple episodes.
Yeah, so we did it for like a year and a half, no? And then like but-
Right now, we're gonna look down at all the comments. There's gonna be somebody who's like, "Bring it back."
Forget it. Nerds with Glasses, Javi every day. Fuck Kevin. Like, Havy.
No, they know. They wouldn't say
They
that.
know. They know.
Do you have anything you want to shout out? Any tags or anything that you want to?
No, I don't use social media.
No.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Yeah, no, sorry, I don't
Fucking
have.
beast.
Go watch Nerds with Glasses
Yeah,
on GLP.
go to
you
Gamers
can
with
just
Playground.
search it. Nerds with Glasses. You
Nerds
can
with
get more dose of Javi. You can watch
super
the
old news.
Yeah,
Yeah.
super old news, but you get to see his pretty face.
You can see us be right about everything we predicted. Dude, we had good record. I need to write it down. We got a lot of things right.
Also, you can
Yeah.
check out the Destiny 2 film or movie.
Destiny 2 game movie
On
it's-
GLP.
It's blowing up.
It's blowing up. It was played by Javi, so
Javi.
you'll see the beast that he is. He
Savage.
only died
I was
like once.
tired.
I'm
Yeah.
just kidding. No, you didn't.
No, I
don't
died
know.
I died a
But
lot.
it
Dude.
probably looks good.
He was like,
And you can also check him out in Madden and just watch how terrible
no,
he is.
no. Don't watch the Madden video. I think we might erase it before.
Yeah, I'm never playing a Madden game or sports game again.
Yeah, no.
All right, and then you can also check out whether it's out now, whether you're depending on the time you're watching this, whether it's out now or whether it's going to come out. I always want to say Gamers Little Playground. GamingSins. You can check out our Everything Wrong with Destiny 2, which again, if it's up already there, if not, it'll be up soon. Anything else?
Everything great about Destiny
Everything
2.
great about Destiny 2.
Also,
as
will
well.
be up in Destiny 2 in 5 minutes, I think. Story. So it should
Story
be
in
fun.
5 minutes. It's
Should
going to be
fun.
great. It's great. Destiny all day. Destiny 100 years. Destiny www.destiny2.com 100 years. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I watch so much Rick and Morty. It's ridiculous. It's just destroying me as a human being. All right. Anyways, goodbye, people of the internet. Be sure to check us out in about 2 weeks. Okay. Love you. Bye.